The starter called out, "Runners to your marks." In my pre-race nervousness, I turned to my left and right to compare myself to the other runners. It was then that I noticed that the line I was using for the start was a full meter behind all of the other runners. I then made the fateful decision to keep my feet in my blocks while moving both hands up, even with the other runners. As I was nearly lying flat when the gun went off, I crawled out of the blocks and almost hit every hurdle. I finished second to last. Where did I go wrong? I took my eyes off the finish line and began to compare myself with the other runners. I was trying to compete the way the others were competing instead of running my own race. In sports, it is easy to compare ourselves to others rather than play our individual games in the way that we have practiced. We try to make someone else's unique ways our own, but focusing on another person's game prevents us from focusing on our own game and competing the way that God created us to compete. This does not mean that we should have the mentality of a loner and neglect the team for our own personal benefit. Rather, competing the way that God created us to compete means that we work to develop our own unique skills so that we can be the best that we have been created to be. Spiritually speaking, when do we get off track? When we take our eyes off Jesus, the finish line, and begin comparing ourselves to others. Stop the comparisons and play your game. Compete the way that you have prepared to compete, and be committed to developing your skills and your unique abilities so that your game is at its best and you reach the finish line having run your race. I thought